Be happy, happy, happy.
Be happy, be happy, mommy.
Come on, keep your chin up. Enjoy this time.
Smile.
Smile, smile, my darling. Blessings.
Welcome to Creative Mamas Unplugged. We are your hosts. I'm Cherice Barton.
And I'm Shelly Hutchinson. Creative Mamas Unplugged is a podcast where we navigate the hell out of being a creative mom with humor and heart.
We will have honest conversations,
Hear wise words from fellow badass mamas,
and share hilarious stories around motherhood for some much-needed comic relief. Listen, motherhood is the most creative, most difficult job in the world. You are not alone, and you deserve to be happy.
We simply can't get enough of the amazing Mindy Sterling, and we know you can't either. In this special Part 2 episode, we dive even deeper into her world, both as a brilliant performer and a devoted mom. And to make it even better, we're joined by someone very special, Mindy's son, Max. Max gives us a glimpse into his world, his school experiences, passions, and even his adventures in stand-up comedy. Mindy opens up more about the beauty of embracing neurodiversity and celebrating individuality. We even get to hear about that unforgettable time that Kristen Wiig babysat Max. This episode is more than just a conversation. It's a joyful celebration of walking your own path, parenting with love, and finding magic in life's unexpected moments. Mindy's humor, wisdom, and huge heart shine through every word. So get ready to laugh, reflect, and fall in love with Mindy Sterling all over again.
But it was a struggle. It was school, was homework, so much homework. My son will never get through this. Yeah. And it took for a while before we found out, okay, so for Max, he doesn't have to do 10 arithmetic things. We just want to make sure that he knows how to do it. Come on, that's all you need to do. Why do we have to have 8 hours of school and then come home and have 5 hours?
Yes.
I did look into one private school, and everyone kept saying, well, Santa Monica, the school district is much better than LA. Okay, great. So I'm going to look into it. And I went and I looked into this one in West LA, I think it was. And I walked in and I looked at everybody, all the kids, and it broke my heart. They were like zombies. And Max has such an incredible personality. He's always smiling and and I thought, can't do this to him. With the help we can get him, he'll get through school. Did he like school? No. Did he like middle school? No. Did he like high school? No. Does he want to ever go back to school? No. You don't blame him.
Yeah, you just wanted to get him through school. Just get through.
He almost didn't. Can I bring him on?
I would love to meet him.
Hi, Max.
Good morning. How are you? It's a pleasure to meet you. I feel like I know you.
Guys too.
Yeah, I feel like I know you already. Yeah.
But tell him like what was it that
I almost didn't graduate high school.
Why?
Because I just stopped caring in like my junior year. This subject does not interest me. So I just
Mm-hmm.
Max, did you have a favorite subject at school?
I'm big on history.
History.
My elective was film, and I really liked that.
That's exciting, film.
Yeah. They let me go through summer school to give me my diploma.
Congratulations. It's a big feat getting a diploma, isn't it?
Yeah. This was like
Long time ago.
12 years ago.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. My daughter is similar. She is 10 years old and hates school. And really, I mean, again, like you were saying, Mindy, coming home at night, hours and hours of homework. And she said, what is the point of this? Super creative kid, super creative, super bright, but sees no point in it. And I mean, completely opposite to her sister who, so it's like trying to, I don't know, Max, if you have any advice that I can give her, because, she's done summer school too, in order to kind of make it through. But she's just like, it's stupid. I don't want to, why do I have to go? And it's hard for me as a mom to even answer that question.
I do agree that schools focus more now on memorization than actually understanding what they're being taught. It's all about testing. It's all about making money.
Mm-hmm.
You are absolutely right.
Yeah.
You get
Yeah.
through it the best as you can, but it's really important to you let them know we doing, numbers and stuff. Still don't know how to do it. Here's what is it? What is it?
Calculator.
A calculator. Can we just not do that? Thank you.
And they were calling it at school, oh, you won't have calculators when mind you, phones now.
Yeah.
So
Amazing with the phones and anything. It's like Max, I don't know how to do anything. And he's boom, 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 boom. And it's like, it needs to be looked at and refigured out. It hurts the soul of a kid and the parents, or it's horrible for parents.
Yeah.
It's really horrible. And not everybody is prepared to be around their son or their daughter all the time. And they have people have to work. And
I've heard it's only gotten worse after the pandemic
cool.
with all the apps and all that.
Thanks, Max. You
Thanks,
did great.
Max.
Hey, Max, good to meet you.
So true, though. I mean, it's so true. I struggle with my child's self-confidence, and I see
Yes.
how much it hurts her that the other kids, they might laugh at her score and then, but she's so bright.
Because they're not right in the sort of, institution of, oh, this is, you have to be really good at everything. Otherwise you won't make it in life. And And that's not true. And I find myself, I wasn't good in school. What I did find was, you know, um, um, I can act, I can do plays. That was like everything to me because I didn't have to be myself and da da da. But I was not bright at really in school and stuff. I struggled, and it's like, yeah, I didn't even want to go to after high school. I didn't want to go to college or anything. I was like, oh my God, last thing I want to do. And he certainly wasn't going to do it because it was like, finally, I'm out. I am not doing anything else. But he went to the Musicians Institute and he wanted to sing. And so I remember my ex and we brought him in. We didn't know what it was going to be like. What? That's true. He did not go in saying, here is my IP. I have a problem. Some people might have picked it out themselves, but he wanted to just be Max. And I want to do this and I want to sing and blah, 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 blah. And he did that for a while. And then it was very, very hard. I mean, like anything, it's like, homework and you have to work on this. Yeah. That's the other thing is I don't want to learn this. I don't, it's like me going, I'm having a hard time doing using the Wi-Fi. And right now, I just don't want to do it. I want you to do it. It's too hard for me. My mind is all over the place.
Yeah. Over STEM.
Yeah. And it's like they just don't care. So it is really hard and through parents. And I would always try to find people, that or groups. So I would just do it online. I would just, blah, 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 blah. I didn't really get any relationships with people that had that, and we would have coffee, and I couldn't find that. So it was, and especially what Max had, which was, I couldn't find anybody that had, nonverbal learning disorder, or it's all kind of, that's why it's like, I think it's, there's so many now, in that place. No, it was just reading stuff, looking on, I mean, there's great stuff online because that's where everybody is talking about this and that, and how do we make it better, and da 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 da. So to know that your daughter, and they're so smart, but nobody looks at what they're smart at. They want you to be smart in what we're supposed to tell you to be smart. So now you have teachers and in the curriculum, they can't, it's like, then go get your own, your own school.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, yeah.
Yeah, she is her own video content producer. She's self-taught. She edits video. She has a little YouTube page. We don't let her show her face, but she has thousands and thousands of followers. And she's
amazing.
So quick and so funny and so good at it, And so it's something that she loves. And we want to encourage that because that is something that she is really good at. But is that taught in school? No.
No, and thank God you have people like you and your family, and it's like, okay, so at school, this is what you need to do or somewhat. But I think that as parents, we have to, without being annoying, we have to be able to go in there going, okay, we're having a big problem. This is going on. And what can I do to help? What can we do to help? go to the principal. I mean, it's instead of some people, like I said, like, well, no, you have to do this. You have to do. It was horrible for me growing up and doing essays. But I think there's so much going on in the world now that everybody's having problems,
Mm-hmm.
and we just need help.
And like you said, like, I feel like the way that you're talking about, like, seeing Max for who he is and seeing Max for his strengths, it's really like parenting is just so thinking outside of the box. And we talk a lot about this on our podcast, a lot about how, like, you're given like a map of how to raise your kid, especially babies. Like, you're given a map on how to do that. Here's a book, here's how to sleep train, here's how to feed them, and all of that. And then you get to, your kid's like 5, and you're like, well, none of that's working for them now going forward. Sorry, my son just walked in and my dog's barking. Sorry. Hi, honey. Yeah, it's okay. And so, like when you're parenting, it's like getting to know your kid, looking at your kid, and going like, how am I going to let them steer how I'm going to parent, or how am I going to let them drive, and I'm just going to kind of guide and lead and navigate. I remember when we were homeschooling, we pulled the kids out of school for pandemic, and we like legit homeschooled them for 2 years. And that's when I discovered my son's neurodiversity and what he couldn't. I can't write a story, I can't do this, I can't do that. So what I started doing was, he would wake up and tell me about his dream, and I would just jot down notes, or I would like record him, and then I would write it out. This was before like talk to text. I gave it to him and I said, you wrote this story. And he's like, no way, I did not change one word of this. This is yours. So we started doing that for writing. And then when we got to school that year back, he was writing and really feeling jazzed about it. Like, I'm a writer. The next year he lost it.
Because of you, and again, not every parent, has the will, or has they understand. We have to help them. I could never have Max be homeschooled, but you can find these little things, and I can say things now like, well, what would you like to do first? Or, well, what would you want to do? Okay. And, you have to find ways to make that work. And so being a parent, as you said earlier, is the hardest and the most amazing thing that I think a mom or dad could have. Some dads are not there. Some mothers are not there, but somebody has to give the kids an opportunity to find out who they are, because we are not all the same. It's just the way it is. And I do love the way that my son is so open about what he does. And it's very, very funny, because our friend that we went to the cruise with, Max, said something about, sometimes I tell people I'm autistic, and she goes, you know what, Max, you need to. You are who you are. You don't have to tell everybody that. And I said, well, I think you do that just because it makes you feel comfortable. Because I'm looking at it like, I'm not saying that this is a problem. I'm telling you that I'm autistic because it might take me a little more time to do this, or it might be this, or I think differently, and I want you to know that it's okay. I think I'm hoping that's how he's looking at it, because he talks to people very openly about it. And I just think more kids need to know about it, and also to let your children who don't have those kind of problems to talk about this. Is is there anyone in school that is getting bullied, or do you understand why? I want you to help them out, or what I mean. We have to keep them and let them know that they are good people, and because the bullies and shit, you don't think their parents are fucked up? Of course they are. Of course they are. Do you know that my sister, she has a daughter who is my niece. She's 9. She just turned 9, and the other day at school, it was after play or something after school, and she was doing something, and this little boy took a rope or something, and was going to strangle her, and she was like, "What are you doing?" And my friend, her friend, went over to stop it, and the boy kicked her in her groin, and they, obviously, blah blah blah, blah. And This is like so amazing to me. And they said to a couple of days later, they said to my sister, so yeah, we're gonna have to, what we can do for you is give you another school to go to. Nothing was gonna happen to him. So if you would like to go to a different school, blah, 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 blah. And I was telling my sister, I said, what? And he's going to stay there? And at first she was like, yeah, I mean, they haven't said anything. They finally ended up getting him out because there's something wrong. This isn't bad behavior. This is whacked out behavior. And my sister had called, I guess, the mother, and she was like, my sister was like, I just want to see, is everything okay? And she goes, look, I just promise it will never happen again. She was very, very curt about it, and that was it. And it was like, well, there you go. There's the answer. This is how it's going on. And that boy needs to go somewhere else and get some help, not my niece.
Yeah.
That's what's going on. And that's the program. This is what you have to do.
Yeah. The parents don't want to look at it.
Just because you don't know doesn't mean that you can't be involved in it. You can't just, some parents are good parents and some parents aren't, but you still are a parent. You have got to never give up on them, and you have to be kind. And sometimes it's where it didn't really come from you. It just is the wiring kind of a thing.
Mm-hmm. Another question.
I love questions.
Yes. Going back to now, the challenges of parenting and growing up. And then obviously, at one point you became a single mom. We talk about childcare often, and also this country and how non-supportive they are of mothers. With your career, right, which is not predictable, right? You're booking jobs, you could book them at the last minute, you could be traveling for a while. How did you manage that while being a mother?
Well, when I was married,
Mhm.
I mean, I kind of did the big stuff, the big money and whatever. And then he would either help out or like at the groundlings, Kristen, Max, her name again? Kristen Wiig. Kristen Wiig.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
She was taking classes at the groundlings, and I was there one day going, how do I need some help with Max. I'm doing this movie. Blah, blah, blah. And she was like, I'll do it. And I go, really? So I would get people like students from the groundlings to
Uh-huh.
help
Uh-huh.
pick him up from school, that kind of a thing. And then when he was little, and I was teaching, I brought Max, he was such a great baby. I had, the swings for the kids, for the babies. Yeah, they just go like this. They're so happy. So I would bring that to the groundlings. I'd go in the office. There were people in the office, working in the office. I'd put him in the swing and I'd go up to teach for 3.5 hours. And just be going like this and being happy. And they loved me with him. And he was so good. You find people to help you.
Yeah.
And even when he was little, I would go to auditions for a commercial or something, brought him in, and someone would go, oh, I'll watch it while you go in there. Thank you. That is your community.
Yeah.
And that's where you have to go and you have to help. I'll help you, you help me, kind of a thing. So yeah. So and then it was really hard. And then I was really lucky to have people that wanted to help and that were really good for him. And he was just always so likable. So everybody, he wasn't like someone that had a temper tantrum or, he was just a good kid. He just didn't know really what to do, kind of a thing. So it's good to find someone that is that understands what he's going through, and to talk to them, depending on like who after do you have after school programs and do they go there after school?
My kids do not do after school programs.
Because
We
you're
have
around.
Well, I travel for my work. I've
Okay,
been working a lot this year and traveling
good.
with a lot of my jobs. Yeah, it's been great. I've really returned back to that and have been relying a lot on, like you said, community. So important. I
Mhm,
have dancers, you know, who are always
mhm.
willing to help out,
Absolutely.
Yeah. And then other moms dads, people in our immediate community here that we've kind of, through the school, can you go pick up so and so? Do you mind? It's still it's hard because every time I go away, I have to like set up a whole calendar of just a mishmash of, of people to try and help, and it takes a lot of time, but
Yeah,
yeah.
but and sometimes it'll work and sometimes for whatever, but it's hard because you're trying to have this wonderful, stuff going on when you're going away, and you don't want to be thinking about, is everything okay? Is everything okay? And it's so I don't know if we'll ever be like, I still like if I'm away, and he's home, and when I go to sleep, I still, leave my phone on, just in case I get a call from him, and I have to know what's going on. And then when you have animals, oh my God, he's not a big animal person, so I had to have people come and stay with him sometimes, and stay here, and they were just really kind of there for, not for Max, but for my animals. And but you had to have like, oh, Max was not welcomed at his dad's, so it was kind of like, yeah, I had to do it all, you know and but that also, you probably don't realize it, we probably don't realize it, but it's like when I hear you say all that, I had to do this, and it's just like, it's like, oh, you did it. It was
Mhm.
hard. But did your girls ever say, when are you going to stop? When are you going to stop going away? Were they ever like that?
Once in a while, yes, for sure, especially my youngest, I don't like, you're always traveling, and
Yeah.
but they have fun, they have fun with the babysitters. I would I and I often, I'm lucky enough, and Shelly and I talk about that too. Shelly's also a choreographer and a teacher and a producer, director, and so we've had the privilege of being able to bring our kids with us too, right? Which not a lot of people can do. And so what has been a gift for me as a creative is when I can bring them and they can see what mommy does in the dance studio or in the theater. Then when I do go away without them, they have an understanding and they go, oh, mommy's with those dancers. Oh, mom, and so it's like less like, it's not like I'm just disappearing, which helps.
Well, and they also have each other.
Yes.
So you've got, they've got each other. With Max, it was, it's just Max. To this day, we still do things like, I miss you. But he had such a routine that sometimes it was hard to change it,
Right.
and so now that he's older, he can, but he still has, he still has his ways of, no, I don't want to do this right now, I'm doing this, and it's his lifestyle.
I know you had said that Max, you and Max share in laughter and you kind of like, back and forth to each other. What are Max's like interests? Like, does he like art? Like, I know he said he likes history. Are there things that he has taken, from school that he likes, like history, or things that he's found, like he loves music? Like, what are his, great interests? What's in his heart?
Well, since he was like 3 years old, he loved wrestling. He loved WWE. Got into that immediately. It was just like, he was hypnotized by it, and he still is.
Mm.
And the great thing is, while he was growing up, and for birthday gifts and stuff, I could just buy him, a wrestler every year. I remember he wanted to be a wrestler, and so we found out that there was, in school, there was they were teaching wrestling. And I was like, oh God, he's not very physical, and da, da, da. But he really wanted to try, and I thought, okay, I'll let you try. And I remember going and watching, and there was this guy that was, I don't know if he didn't know about Max or whatever, but he would be like, come on, Max, let's go, move it, and he was yelling and da 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 da, being really tough and really tough. And I was like sitting up in the chairs and just going, oh boy, okay, what I know what to do now. What am I going to do now? I'm going to, oh boy. And but he tried so hard, and he didn't cry. And then afterwards, he said, I don't think I can do this anymore. And I said, totally fine. You don't have to be a wrestler to love wrestling. There's so many other things about it. And I said, you did great. I didn't want to not encourage him to do it, but I was so glad that he tried and worked really hard and gave it his best and then realized, yeah, maybe I'll do it in a different way. He loved, yeah, so wrestling he loves, still loves. He loves to read, great reader, loves to read, loves to read. He is on the computer, I would say about most of the day and night. I have backed off because I remember this therapist saying to me that dealt with people that had autism. And she said, you know something, Mindy, Max is going to be okay. And I'll tell you why, how I found this out. I went away to do a Comic-Con. I'm in bed early in the morning. I get this call. Hi, Mom. And it's like, hey, what's going on? I just want to let you know that last night I was in the emergency room of the hospital. What? What do you mean? What do you mean? Well, I woke up like at 3 or 4 in the morning, and I was having a pain in my stomach, and I took a shower, and then that didn't work, and I took some water, and that didn't work, and then he goes immediately. He goes to the, he looks everything up. He knows everything. He's so smart. And he said, "Oh, okay, I might have a what was it? A kidney stone."
Oh.
And there was somebody here that was staying with us because I had the animals and stuff. She zonked out. She took it. It's just who she was, and she was sleeping. He did not wake her. He did not call me. He did not call his dad. He took himself. He Ubered. This was what, 2 years ago. He went to the emergency room, and when I told this therapist about this, she said, or my therapist about it, she said, "Okay, I want to tell you something. I know you're worried about him." She goes, "Mindy, he is going to be fine." That was a huge thing what he did. Would you have done that? No, I would have done it myself. And so he says, he's going to be okay. If he's not going to be what you want him to be, or do the things that you want him to do, but God forbid, he will know what to do. And that just blew me away. That was like this, oh my God, because I'm always going around going, I can't die. I can't die because of that. And so now it's kind of like, oh my God, he's growing up, and he's not afraid of things. He doesn't like to be on the phone. He doesn't like to talk to anybody if he doesn't, but he just figured it out. He didn't wake up this woman. He didn't call my brother. No one. He did it himself. Come on. So it's stuff like that you're like, oh my God. And continuing. And the other thing is, yes, he wanted to go. Friends of his were going to Ireland, and I was like, I don't know if I want to go. And Max said, I'll go. And our friend said, yeah, Max can go. I thought, oh, this is fantastic. He will go without me. This will be really good for him. This could be really good for me. He was amazing. He did it by himself. He got to the Netherlands on a flight by himself. He found out, oh, not everybody has the same routine as me. So I want to go somewhere, but I can't because they're working right now. And I don't know what to do. And I'm hungry. And all the things that mom would have been, all right, what should I do? What do you want me to do? But I wasn't there. Wow. It's amazing. So these things are like, oh, I see. So if you back away a little bit, I mean, always be there for them. But if you back away and go, all right, well, what would you like to do? Or you're going to be okay? And he never like, broke down. I never called my friends and said, what's going on? What are you guys doing? It's okay. The timing, everybody's different when you grow up, when you've done like a big thing, for yourself. So yeah, pretty cool.
That's such success, because that's the ultimate success, isn't it? Because
Yes.
you raised them to be emergency, get yourself okay, and out of the country. Those are big ones, and so there you are.
I know. I mean, it was just huge to me thinking, here's someone that doesn't, just is, you think they're all over the place. They're not. How
No.
many kids do you have?
I have two boys and they are 10 and 12. And it's funny that you mentioned the wrestling, the WWE, because we're also big fans. It's kind of died down a little bit, but they would prefer to wrestle on the roof if they could.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
a great, if I could make that happen. But I was thinking of you because I was thinking of that and I was like, oh, we have all the figures too. And I was wondering, do you and Max, have you ever been to a live match? Or have you ever, these meet and greets and things like that? Like, does he love that?
Yeah, and I loved it. So, there are some that I like and some he watches all kinds of different stuff. But the coolest thing for me was that I met Chris Jericho. And Max, what's the other guy's name? Mick Foley. I met them. And so when I found out that Chris was doing something, he says, anytime, give me a call or whatever. I went, hey, is there any way that blah, blah, blah. And I think it was me, my brother, and we went and we saw him. And it was like I was like in awe of, this is exciting. This is like a show. So yes, and he met, I think he has a picture with him. And so Mick Foley is a doll. And every time we go to Comic-Con and I always ask about Max. Max came with me once.
Who's his favorite wrestler? I'm very interested.
Who's your favorite wrestler? He said it varies day by day. It literally, because it does change. Do you know what I mean? And he loves watching it by himself.
Uh-huh.
And my brother, the great thing is that he and my brother have this incredible relationship, and they talk about all of this, and it's just wonderful that he's got somebody that gets him and that knows people and the way they do things. So yeah, he's very particular with things.
Uh-huh.
So he may love wrestling, but not all the shows, not all the companies. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yep.
Mindy, didn't he do to stand up for a hot second?
Oh my God, yeah.
Please tell us more about that.
And I have it on video, but it's not very good, but I can still send it to you. One day, I don't know, I was just trying to figure out, what is it you want to do? What is it when you want to do with your life? I was just trying to, blah, blah. And he turned around, he said, I think I want to do stand up. And I went, oh, okay. No, I don't need for you to help. Okay. So wasn't in a part of it. The only thing that I did was said, we should probably go to take a class and get, blah, blah, blah. So he did, I think he did 2 different classes for 2 different people. The first one he did was, it's just hysterical. I don't even know how to explain it. It's weird. But it's his point of view. It's him talking about being autistic and how people are with him and how he is and how so we were hysterical. And then the second one was he's talking about something else that he did. Anyway, he decided, because we don't live far from a place, they have a little theater here in Santa Monica. He would go and try to do, what is it called? You'd go and you try to get on stage and try to get a booking. And he would go there and he would wait. And they, he said, they don't laugh at anything, the people that are there. And I go, well, because they're all into themselves. And he would say, he'd go, yeah, I don't think I'm going to do this anymore. It's just too hard. And I said, okay, you don't have to. The fact that you did that on your own, I've never wanted to do stand up. I am absolutely amazed. And he was very confident about it, very like, all right, let's move on. So yeah.
That is incredible, because stand-up is by far the most difficult art form out there, I think. I mean, it is so...
You're all by yourself.
Yes.
You have you have the audience, but you have to have your stuff done. You have to know what you're going to say, the timing of it. I had, the teachers that he said he has such amazing timing. And of course, Max will say, well, it's because, my mom go to the groundlings, blah, blah. And I went, well, whatever it is, you just have picked it up and we were just, and I thought, oh, that would be so funny, but that is a very, very difficult, yeah, thing to do.
That is so cool. I would love to see it.
I'm going to see
yeah.
it. Yeah, I'll try to find it.
Oh, please. Lovely.
I love it that you bring your creativity into your relationship with him. And does he watch your work though?
No, he doesn't really. I think I love him just being there and being supportive.
I get her every day.
Yeah, I get her every day. Yeah.
That's great.
We were talking to Jamie Denbo about that the other day too. She was like, the thing is, yeah, these kids that grow up in LA or grow up in Hollywood and parents are in the industry and it's just like a normal thing for them.
Yeah, he gets it. He gets the whole thing. He gets the whole business.
I remember when we went to the premiere of Wreck-It Ralph 2 and Sarah Silverman was talking to my children and she was even doing the voice of the character.
Right.
And they were kind of like, I was like, you guys have no idea. Like, this is Sarah Silverman. And they were just kind of like,
they're like,
what could she do for me? What gifts could she give me? How could she change my life? I don't care.
Yeah, it's funny.
That's awesome. In your life with Max, and especially going through his childhood and in school and seeing other students and other kids and other parents, do you feel that your relationship with Max and your experience parenting as a parent, do you find yourself becoming more empathetic?
Well, definitely when I do cons, I would say probably about 80% of the people that come up are on the spectrum.
Mm-hmm.
And my whole way of signing autographs and talking to people, what I say to them is, I'm giving you an experience. I will take pictures with you, lots of pictures. I want to talk to them. I want to make sure that they know how important they are.
Aww.
So I'm there. I'm not annoyed. I try to engage in them. They've come by themselves. They think I'm cool. And so that helps me. It's a lot like my mom. My mom was not an entertainer, but my mom loved everybody, probably more than she loved herself. But I know when somebody needs a hug.
Oh.
But somebody needs a hug because they said, my dad and I, we watched Con Man before he died, and I'm immediately like, all right, come here. And I just want them to know that they want them to leave, that they're not being rushed, they're not being nobody's watching them, listening to them. So it's there, and it is exhausting by the end of 2 or 3 days.
Yeah.
But that is something that I've always been like.
Mindy, I love you. And I'm just so grateful to know you now and have met you. And thank you so much. You really filled our hearts.
Anytime you get out here, then the three of us also would love to see you in person and, that kind of a thing. But I thank you. And I also thank you for loving my son. And I thank you for, doing this for so many other people.
Creative Mamas Unplugged is produced by Breatheasy Productions with music by Jeremy Jurin. If you enjoyed this episode, please don't forget to give my mama 5 stars and keep coming back. Thanks to us kids, there are plenty of stories to tell. And you are not alone. Bye for now.